Hey everybody, how's it going? As you can see, we've got a brand new version, so that means a brand new loading screen, and boy, I think this has to be one of the top loading screens in the history of Monster Strike. Not very surprising, it is the 5th year anniversary, so of course they're going to go all out, and that awesome music to go with it. If you didn't watch the live stream over the weekend, I would really suggest you do that, because the music that they played for all of the familiar music that you may have hopefully you are listening to, because Monster Strike has amazing music, but listening to that with the orchestra, with like guitarist, saxophonist, professional piano and drumming, it was really good. But anyways, as the game loads, we've got version 13, which means we've got a lot of cool updates to go through, and boy are there a lot. There is even one update that I think is going to change the game for, I don't know for the better or not, but the only thing is not all of you may be able to take advantage of it, which is kind of a bummer, but we'll leave that for last because it is the prize update of 13.0. But there are a lot of quality of life updates that are pretty amazing, and we are going to start off with the biggest one of those, in my opinion, and that is the fact that quests will now show all gimmicks and the top cleared monsters for a given quest. So as you can see, Kushinada Kai is up right now. So up until now you probably either went in blind, or you looked up somewhere like Famitsu or Game With, or just ask your local friends in your line group or Discord, what did you need to clear this? Well, now you don't need to ask anymore, because you can hit this button next to the quest action button, and voila, everything is there for you. Now, they only show 7 categories. We've got gravity barriers, damage walls, warps, mines, blocks, magic circles, and wind. As you can see, damage walls, mines, and blocks are highlighted, so they are saying it's part of this quest. In particular, damage walls and mines have a exclamation mark, and that is X flag saying, hey, these gimmicks are pretty important to handle for this quest, so make sure you do that. Wow. That is really nice of Monster Strike. If it weren't for the fact that, NA already did this for us back when. So, hey, looks like they finally decided that everybody in Japan would be like, liking that kind of information here. What's even better, they one up that is this part right here. You can now see the top 10 monsters used to clear this quest. Did not play the quest, clear the quest. So teams of all the other strikers in the world are ranked here. So you see Himiko, Cinderella, Walpurgis, Mana, Striker, Vaughn, Dahlia, Lucy, Harley, and let's say you don't remember who this person is. Hey, you know what? You can long press their portrait to get their information here. This is Dashinben. So that is pretty darn awesome. But it doesn't stop there in terms of the awesomeness, because you can hit this blue button to swap information, and now it'll show drop monsters that people use to clear this quest. So now you can utilize this information to figure out who the best max luck monster could be for this quest, because clearly people have completed this quest over and over with these teams. So Shana from a collab. You've got Kushinada. Kushinada Kai for Kushinada Kai. Now that's interesting, right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Kushinada Kai is good for her own quest. But yeah, that is pretty darn cool. And it just says that these monsters were pulled from the last month's worth of quests, so it is very up to date in terms of people clearing things. Maybe the newer monsters will have some time lag to show up, but you know what? That's not bad at all. Do you know all the other information that used to be outside of this quest are in here now? So it says 0 continue, no hearts. I don't believe it shows that anymore on top, which it normally did. It was flashing on top. So if you are looking for that kind of information, I do believe it is now hidden in here. So do keep that in mind. And any bonuses for the quest should be in this top right menu option. But you can see here number 2. We've only gone through number 1. Number 2 is pretty awesome too. Quests will now help you with team comps based on your box. How that works. So okay, you've looked at this and that's great. Let's say you forgot to look at it and you're like, okay, I'm gonna solo play this, and Kimiko is probably good, right? It's a wood quest, and also this UI has changed a little bit, which is pretty cool. The friend option is actually static. But let's say, okay, I don't remember what team I wanted. I didn't want to use an old team. Fret not. X5 didn't stop with the niceness, because now you can click this arrow button on the top and you see this radar icon, which wasn't there before. What this does is it will organize your box based on, do you have any of the monsters that were in the top 10 list from either the gacha monsters or the drop monsters? And it will also pre-filter monsters that can handle the main gimmicks of the stage. So I do believe everybody in here can handle mines and or damage walls, right? Puck. Sure, it doesn't take into account elemental effectiveness or, you know, pierce bounce, that kind of stuff. But, you know, those exclamation marks were on damage walls and mines. So as long as you can handle that, maybe Dorothy is an acceptable option for this quest. Or this 5-star monster that has flight and no damage wall. But that is amazing. Like, you know, X5 is saving you a lot of work on creating your teams for certain quests. Wow. Pretty awesome. And okay, so that's just the first 2 steps. Let's move on. Number 3. Okay, so I recorded this earlier because I want to make sure that I had somebody to help me out here. Kraken was nice enough to help me. Thank you very much. But how this works is that it is now a little bit easier to join quests with friends in your friends list. What you can do now is just play nearby, and as long as you have a lock set with the password, 3-number password, any of your friend lists, any of your friends in your friends list can join your game using the multi join button on the right on the main screen. So let me play this video. This is not the video I want to play. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna host a stage. I want to do a Charles quest. Why not, right? So scroll down to the bottom, go to multi, and then important thing here is the left button. Normally, if you wanted to play with somebody that's not nearby, you'd click the line button, send a request through line, and then they would join outside that app. Now, you can just click the yellow button on the left. Right, you saw I hit the left button. And then now I'm hosting. Note that the passcode there on the top right is already set to 123. Make sure all of your other friends know that passcode. And then Kraken, he joined. I don't remember where Kraken lives, but he certainly does not live anywhere near me. That's pretty cool. Saves a lot of steps. You don't have to jump to line. Even though they added that line integration, you know, making that a little bit more smoother is pretty great. Now, let's take a look at this from the joining point of view. Again, you can just click that green button on the bottom right. And as long as you have the code there, then voila. Kraken's quest shows up. He's not anywhere near me, but because we're on each other's friends list, we're able to join that way. Now, there is one drawback. You do have to have that code locked. If you don't have a lock on it, I don't believe you can spread it out into the world so that any of your friends can see it. So you might want to agree on something simple like we had there, 1 2 3, or perhaps 1 1 1, something like that. But try and agree on something with your group of friends, online friends, so that you can play just a little bit easier. Pretty darn awesome. All right, number 4. Actually, give me 1 second. Need to unlock my phone. There we go. All right, the library quests usage has changed slightly. If you take a look at the library, We'll slide over here. You'll notice that on the top left it says points now. Before it's had a usage count. How that used to look before is up until rank 100 you had 5 uses, and from 101 to 200 you had 6, 201 to 300 you had 7, and every 100 ranks you would be able to gain 1 more use. Now this has been translated over into points. And so now, if you're rank 1 through 100, you have 150 points to use. Up to 200, 180. Up to 300, that's 210. And basically, every 100 ranks, you would gain 30 points of library usage. Now, what do points mean? This is a good thing. Don't worry, because now, based on the difficulty of the quest you are running, the number of points that you need to spend in the library depends on that. So if you're doing an impossible, it costs 30. So let's try and find Izanami. Where are you? There you are. And as you can see, it costs 60 stamina and 30 library points. Something that's lethal or extreme costs 20. Anything savage or lower only costs 10. That's pretty darn awesome. And then I guess Abel here, right? Or Shibai. That's a lethal quest, and that's also costs 20. So this does mean in the end you've gained more usages. Right? If you're only doing impossibles, you've had the same amount as you've had before. If you're actually doing savage or lethal quests, you are actually saving a few uses here and there. So pretty awesome update, and that is, again, pretty darn nice of Misc X-Flag to give us that. Alright, we are moving over to number 5. Some other miscellaneous updates. Play and clear games. You remember those mission quests? They have been increased. The old cap was 50,000 plays and clears. Now it has been upgraded to 100,000. And you will earn a reward every 1,000 plays and or clear. I think it's still just 1 orbs each, but hey, pretty cool. If you've already, gone over that limit, just make sure you play and clear at least once, and then it should update for you in terms of the rewards. Boop, boop. Number 6, we've got new normal quests. And how many new normal quests? Well, we got 10 new quests with 3 stages each, plus bonus stages to go with them. So at minimum, there's, I think, 40 stages, including the bonus ones. If you complete them all, you will be able to earn a total of 50 orbs, which is great. And halfway through, you can unlock Sanctuary Dragon's Ascension. That's how it looks there. Pretty cool. And how it works is it's a free slide to the Ascension, just like some of those collab monsters. Just like the collab quest, it will be unlocked via a mission. And so once you clear that mission, this becomes possible, and then you can ascend Sanctuary Dragon. And I think the stats are pretty darn decent for a free max luck monster. So, I mean, of course, it's not going to be blow your socks off awesome, but for those of you just starting out, and I do think there may be a lot of you since that special gacha is coming very soon, why not? Alright, let's move over to number 7. There are some menu reorganizations. It's not too big. I mean, first of all, as you can see, the main UI has changed quite a bit. The quests are in the middle. The Mon spot is now on the left. The schedule is pushed up above the Mon spot. The missions are on the top right in that blue panel there. And of course the join multiplayer games on the bottom right in that green is still there. As you can see, the orb counter has shifted right next to the orb count that you have. The XP is now a nice dial now, so you can kind of see the percentages a little bit better, I think. Of how close you are until leveling up. And as you can see on the monsters page, there are sectioned off a little bit more, right? So we got the level up stuff, you've got the selling, luck exchange, metals exchange, and the others on the bottom. Pretty nice. As you can see, the buttons, they've shrink down a little, give a little more space in between, which is always good. You want to make sure on a phone device kind of thing that you give that extra space so you don't accidentally click the wrong button. So stuff like that is pretty cool. We went over the quest differences. They do delineate the different quests a little bit better, just to make it more obvious what is which. I think that's great. I think the options are the same. The buttons are a little bit spaced out more. But yeah, cool. I like it. I really do like the UI update. That top screen looks a little bit more cleaner. Maybe there's still some empty space that could be fixed, but that's fine. All right, let's go to number 8. As you may have noticed, there is a new logo and app icon for the game. It does feature Oragon a little bit more than that, replacing the red Smydra that used to be there. RIP. But I think it looks pretty cool. Meh. Number 9, the max rank has increased to 1500 from 999. If any of you out there are max rank before, just make sure to play one more quest. Once you get at least 1 experience point, it will bump up your ranks accordingly. Experience has been calculated throughout, even if you haven't seen any changes, because it said max. I'm not sure how much more experience it takes to get to 1500, but it sounds crazy. Number 10, Aizem Yo. There is now stockable. She was the latest impossible quest. And I think enough time has been elapsed so that you can now stock it. All right. I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for this. Let's go to the big update for 13.0, and that is this shouldn't be 10. This is number 11. There you go. Fix it on the fly. You can now rent monsters. What? Yes, that is not a typo. Okay, so how this works, you need to go to the friends icon. And then this third item in the menu, the monster rental service, is now available. However, this is a big however, you must be locally near your friend to rent out a monster. Now, again, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be starting new accounts to help them out with that new Kansha Gacha that you can play multiplayer to pull a gacha. So those new accounts are going to need some help starting out, right? Or maybe it's just you actually have friends around you that play Monster Strike, and your friend really could use that no you had, or Lorelei you had. And it'll be tough to part with that monster, but there is one rule in terms of lending monsters. You must have been logged in for 30 days before you can lend out a monster. I do have some images from my tablet, which I just started. As you can see, it's only rank 10. And if you attempt to lend out a monster, you'll see this message on the right saying you must have a total login count of 30 days. This is, of course, a great way to, curb off, people from just spamming accounts, getting one particular monster, lending it out real quick, and then killing it afterwards. You actually have to have a monster, that account ready for 30 days. So let's see it in action. So my tablet, I'm gonna lend out one of my nonos. I have 4 of them. That's fine. Ooh, sorry. Select that and you'll see a screen that says rental is now ready. You have 3 minutes on your other device to accept the rental. And how that works is just like any, you're joining a quest. Let's let me move this over here. So, okay, that was the wrong image. But if you look at that on the left, you see that arrow pointing towards a person. So this is saying I want to accept a monster. Now, unfortunately, I can't connect my tablet to the computer right now. I am actually low on USB ports, so I can't do that. But you'll click this and, you know, it's going to search, use the GPS. Again, let me remind you, you have to be local to do this. It'll look for any other players around you that are willing to lend out a monster. Now, again, make sure you have the passcode set on the top right. If you don't have it, like I have in the image there, it won't work. Let's see. And so, let's see if I haven't spent 2 times. So, you know, this is saying it's waiting. So, I go on my tablet, click it, search, and it should be visible. And once you do that, as you can see, it says rental successful. And let's see if this will update on my screen. Sorry, I am doing this, you know, in the spur of the moment. So there you go. Now it has changed, saying this no is now rented to your friend. It says 48 hours, and that is the maximum limit. We'll go over the restrictions a little bit later. But as you can see on the tablet now, it is in your box. It is a little bit grayed out, and there is an icon on the bottom right saying it is being lent. That is pretty darn awesome, right? If you try to level it up, or I don't know why you would do this, try and sell the monster, it will warn you that you cannot do that. So you can only, you know, be nice. Don't try and mess with it. Also, do keep in mind that when you lend out a monster, the original owner cannot use it while it is rented out. So if you take a look at my screen, I'm actually not sure if it's just like either it's grayed out or if it's just not in your box anymore. Okay, there you go. You got the icon here saying it is rented out. So you cannot use this monster while it is rented out. And it's just if you try and click it, it's saying while you have a monster rented out, you can't do anything with it. And the other cool thing is that max luck monsters are okay to lend out as well. So let's say my tablet could use a max luck for, let's say, victory. I can rent it out for 48 hours to my tablet so that it has a max luck to help out. And then I can use it to help me out farm victory. Wow, that's pretty cool, right? All right, now let's take up the rules to rent a monster. Again, you need to be local to do that, but there are no restrictions to accept a monster. So if you have a friend out there willing to help you out, great, that's all you need. There are a few other exceptions. You can take a look at my tablet from still images. You cannot put a rented monster into deck number 1. I do think there are some default issues that could come into play with that, so that's why you must put any rented monsters into deck 2 or beyond. Just, you know, if you see this error message, that's what it's all about. Like I discussed earlier, you cannot power up or sell a rented monster. Please don't be mean. Okay, now last thing is that rentals will automatically expire after 48 hours. You can use it as many times as you want during the 48 hours, but once 2 days have elapsed, it goes back to the original owner. Now, a lender can always recall their monster at will whenever they want. So if I was like, oh, I really need that fourth no for some reason, let's say, you know, the sealed jades, right? I needed that fourth no. So I can go back to the friends list, click the rental button. Oops, there's an image blocking that, sorry. And you can click the button on the right, which is what you have rented out, and click the button on the left that says release the rental. At that moment, my tablet will no longer be able to use no, and no will come back to my box and I can start using her. Likewise, a renter can always return the monster early. Let's say my tablet is done with no and it's like, okay, thanks Scott, take her back. Then you basically do the same thing, click the blue button, which would have no there, and then click the left button to say return no. That is pretty darn awesome, and that is it for the rental. Again, let me say this one more time. You have to be local to trade. Now again, I don't know if I should say this, but no, I mean, I will warn you. They did send out a warning officially on the Monster Strike website, warning that spoofing is technically against the terms of service of the game. Now, whether or not it's easy or hard to detect such things, I'm not here to say that. I'm here to say don't endanger accounts by spoofing, right? You don't know what they want to do, and you don't want to lose your account for, you know, all the work you put into your account because you wanted to do this rental service. That's my official stance. Play it safe. Don't do it. If you want to do it, that's on you, but don't say I didn't warn you. Okay, so yeah, that is it for 13.0. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. There were a lot of updates in there. There's a lot of small stuff, like there's new library quests. There are some bug fixes with the bump combos. That's fine. That's nothing big, but I just want to make sure that you understood, especially how the rental service works, and you know, that new data for the missions. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. If anything's confusing, you know, there's a lot of details to this. I will do my best to clarify them for you. And I think that's it, right? Whew. Oh yeah, my usual spiel. ENGmonst on Twitter, me and SF are gladly trying to give you the latest and greatest news as soon as possible, so follow that. If you care about my YouTube Twitter, ScottNackYT is there. Red button to subscribe somewhere down there, bell to let you know when I upload, blah 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 blah. Anyways, thank you for watching until the end. Really appreciate it, and until next time, bye bye.